Hello, lovely people. Thank you guys for being here for another episode with Azana Serene. Share this channel with another elegant woman, and let's get into this week's episode. So this episode is going to be all about my brides-to-be and the designers who love to sew beautiful gowns like this. I'm going to go over this custom bridal gown that I created and explain to you guys how I created the top, which is a beaded bustier with a draped halter neck kind of overlay style. I didn't capture all of the behind the scenes for this episode, but still enough to talk through the process with you guys. So I got started by taping out basically the shape of the bustier that I wanted to create. So these lines are representing where the seam lines and ultimately the boning for this bustier are going to go. So I wanted a lot of structure, so I created a lot of panels for this style. Ultimately, this is going to give me the layout for how to drape that basic foundation. Once I got the foundation in place, I got to work with really draping out each panel piece. So that's what I'm doing here and just cutting out the shapes. The tape was used as a guide underneath the muslin, so that's how I understand what length and size each panel is going to be. And I'm just taking my pencil, drawing that out. Ultimately, after I'm done creating this on the dress form, what I'm going to do is true up the pattern to use these directly as my pattern pieces. I'm not going to recreate them out of paper. I'm going to take them right off of the dress form and use them after to cut out my pattern pieces from my fabric of choice. Alright, boom. So I took all of my muslin pieces directly off of the dress form, and now what I did was I trued up the lines to make them a little more clear, cut out the pieces all from each other so that I'm able to add seam allowance where I need to, and these are going to be the basic pattern pieces that I use to cut out my fabric. I'll definitely add seam allowance to these, of course. That's not really shown right here, but that's what it looks like once I fully cut it out. I used about a 1/2 inch seam allowance all around all of these pieces. So this is actually a fun part right here. I'm using my hammer to smash up all the beading that is on my seam allowance of all of these panels. Now, why am I doing that? Because it's going to make it obviously much easier on my sewing machine when it's time to sew these panels together. So all along that 1/2 inch seam allowance, I smashed that up. Then I brought it over to my sewing machine so that I could start sewing all those panel pieces together. Designers, you all know this, pressing always makes a difference. So regardless of what the fabric is, find the right setting or the right steamer and always press your seams open. This is going to make my layers ultimately lay together more nicely because this is just the top layer of the dress. These pieces right here are the organza back. I also press those seams, and that's just always key. Press, press, press for a clean finish when you're starting to put all of your pattern pieces together. So I definitely forgot to record myself cutting these pieces out, but this is the lining fabric that I'm going to be using for this dress, and it'll represent the lining of the bustier that we just cut in the beaded fabric. So I used these same pattern pieces, cut out my crepe de chine fabric. It's like a stretch, really nice structure, and I started sewing those panels together. You can see here that it's going to come together and look just like the bustier. The next step was to add the cups to this because remember, this is a top that we want to have a lot of structure. So after I sewed all the panels together, I put my bra cups in place. This is our lining layer with the bra cups attached and the boning in place. And next to that is the beaded outer layer with the organza back. So I'll be sewing these together along that top edge and understitching it. So the key to finishing up the rest of this dress was draping and basting. So I basted the top portion of my dress in place, draping the crepe de chine where I would like it to lay, kind of in this sexy way that it goes over the bustier. And I actually followed the same process for the skirt. Once I draped and basted everything, it was time to put the full look together and reveal the whole gown as one beautiful piece with the skirt actually connected to that top. And I'll show you guys exactly what that looked like in its finished state. And finally, here is our finished custom wedding gown look. If you guys didn't know, all the wedding gowns from Azana Serene are custom made because we're telling your love story. That's exactly why I created this piece and what's so special about being a part of these moments. If you guys are interested in a custom wedding gown or evening look, you can use the link below or head over to our website to book a consultation. And for all my designers that are watching this video, leave a comment and let me know what you liked about this video. I'll continue to share all of my custom projects and the sewing that I am doing because I think it's really awesome. Clearly I'm in love with this look, and I hope you guys are too, because that is all for this episode. Don't forget, like this video, share it with another elegant woman, and I'll see you guys next time.